So we're speaking about lures earlier, right? And how the ocean, big bodies of water, but also, you know, possibly strife and conflict, nuclear war. These things seem to attract. Are there any environmental factors that attract them?
Yeah.
What are some that aren't the ocean? What are some other environmental factors that you've seen activity in? Or atmospheric?
Certain. So there is a lot of information on this topic to suggest that uranium mines are of particular interest. And other mines as well, believe it or not, gold. Now, if you think about it, why gold? Not from a monetary perspective, but what gold is. You know, gold is a very interesting metal, and which, by the way, makes it valuable, not because it's pretty and it's gold. It's because of the properties. The reason why NASA and the Air Force use gold a lot on the inside of
radiation properties, or
all sorts of properties. Right. I got to be careful what I say here, but gold has some very interesting properties, and there has been some information to suggest that UAP are interested in mining operations, both uranium and gold.
That was also suggested by the 4chan whistleblower who talked about the underwater construction unit. Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I mean, it's just my brain's jumping to the Ariel school. They were close to a uranium mine as well.
That's not the only one.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other mass sightings.
There's some reports, governmental reports. I could probably talk about, they've been released through FOIA now, so they were classified. CIA reports on mines in the Congo, gold mines, where these things were seen by many, many people.
Wow.
Australia too.
Oh, I mean, okay. So there's one thing being interested in the material, but there's another in extracting it.
Yep.
Have you any recorded data of observing these UAP extracting anything?
No,
none.
I have not. Doesn't mean it's not the case.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not the case, but not in my experience. I haven't seen actually any extraction of minerals from the earth.
Okay. The 4chan whistleblower said that like the technology they used was laser somehow, and that lasers were really interesting, and that China was actually using some of these lasers and had figured out how to bore these holes and to mine things that left the United States baffled.
So are we sure it's actual laser? So laser is very interesting. It's in the visible light spectrum, and it's a very specific frequency of light. So a green laser only uses green. It looks green because it's green, and the photons are coming out at a very specific frequency. Blue lasers, red lasers. There's things that can be confused as lasers directed energy that are really not based in photons or the emission of actual light. Then you also have in some cases, what they call a Doppler shift. So part of the discussion we had in ATIP was some of the biological consequences of people getting too close to these things and suffering injury. Yeah, exactly. Doppler redshift, blue shift. What could be coming out in, let's say, a certain radio frequency when it goes through a certain process and perhaps leaves the UAP or the UFO, it gets Doppler shifted into a higher frequency that now becomes interpreted as visible light or possibly even energy, like it could hurt you, right? Like X-ray, for example. So when someone says, well, they're using laser technology,
you could look that way.
Yeah. Is it really laser technology, or is it something else that we are now superimposing our own understanding of physics, saying, oh, that's a laser, when really it might not be a laser per se, but it's interpreted that way.
Yeah, it has laser-like properties.
Right.
Okay.